Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, I welcome you all to our online English class. In today's class, we are going to be seeing a lesson from your class 10 first flight book children. So this lesson is a drama, The Proposal, written by Anton Chekhov children. And let us understand the title of the lesson before going to know about the author. And the proposal means some plan or a suggestion made, and otherwise it is also it can also be recognized as a plan for marriage, a proposal for marriage children. So this lesson is going to be a proposal or asking for marriage. So the author is Anton Chekhov. Anton Chekhov was the greatest Russian playwright, and he was the greatest short fiction story writers. Okay children, and he was born on 26th January 1860 and he died on 15th July 1904. So let us move into the lesson. The characters of this lesson, since we are dealing with a drama, we will know about the characters before going into the lesson. It is Stepan Stepanovich Chubukov, a landowner, Natalia Stepanovna, his daughter, 25 years old, and Ivan Vasilovich Lomov, a neighbor of Chubukov, a large, hearty but very suspicious landowner. So now we are moving into the drama, and the drama is opening with a drawing room in Chubukov's house, and Lomov is entering wearing a dress jacket and white gloves. Chubukov rises to meet him. So this is the scene. It is Chubukov's place and Lomov is coming. Lomov is all dressed up, okay, to meet Chubukov. So let us find out why he is dressed up and why he has come to meet Chubukov. Chubukov is speaking. My dear fellow, whom do I see? Ivan Vasilovich? I am extremely glad. Squeezes his hand. Now is a surprise. My darling, how are you? Thank you. And how may you be getting on? Chubukov, we just get along somehow, my angel, thanks to your prayers and so on. Sit down, please. Sit down, please do. Now, you know you shouldn't forget all about your neighbors, my darling. My dear fellow, why are you so formal in your get-up? Evening dress, gloves and so on. Can you be going anywhere, my treasure? Lomo, no, I have come only to see you, honored Stepan Stepanovich. So I told you, Lomov has come to meet Chubukov, and you can see how Chubukov is greeting Lomov. Okay, he is calling him his treasure, my angel. You can see how he is creating a rapport. Okay, and they are both are neighbors. Lomov has come to Chubukov's place on some reason with all his dress, like a big jacket, gloves and so on. So Chubukov is asking, is there any evening party you are going to attend? Are you going anywhere? Why are you all dressed up? But Lomov is explaining that he has come only to meet Chubukov. Chubukov, then why are you in evening dress, my precious? As if you are paying a New Year's Eve visit. Lomov, well, you see, it's like this. I have come to you, honored Stepan Stepanovich, to trouble you with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for help, and you have always, so to speak. I must ask your pardon, I am getting excited. I shall drink some water, honored Stepan Stepanovich. Chubukov, he has come to borrow money. Shan't give him any. What is it, my beauty? Lomo, you see, honored Stepanovich. I beg pardon, Stepan Honorich. I mean, I awfully excited, as you will please notice. In short, you alone can help me, though I don't deserve it, of course, and haven't any right to count on your assistance. So here Chubukov is asking for the details why he has dressed up, and he is asking whether he is going to attend any New Year's evening visit. Lomov is telling, no, I have dressed up only to meet you. I want to have a formal meet up with you, and that is why I have come with this dress. And Chubukov is interested in asking, what is it? and inside you could see Chubukov is thinking that Lomo has come to borrow some money and he has already planned that he shall not give any money. But outside he is showing as though he is very hospitable, he is so happy that Lomo has come. So he is telling, why not, child, you can ask anything, I am there to help you. And Chubukov and Lomo is very humbly expressing that he has come to count on his assistance. Even though he doesn't deserve any help from Chubukov, he has come to ask for some help and assistance from Chubukov. Let us go inside and find out what was the help, whether Chubukov was ready to help or not. And privilege means the chance, okay, the right to ask for is called as a privilege. Privilege means the right to ask. Okay, children. Chubukov, oh, don't go round and round it, darling. Spit it out. Well, Lomo, one moment. This very minute, the fact I have come to ask the hand of your daughter Natalia Stepanovna in marriage. Chubukov joyfully, by Jove, Ivan Vasilovich, say it again, I didn't hear it at all. Lomo, I have the honor to ask. Chubukov, my dear fellow, I am so glad and so on. Yes, indeed, and all that sort of thing. Embraces and kisses Lomo. I have been hoping for it for a long time. It's been my continual desire. Sheds a tear, and I have always loved you, my angel, as if you were my own son. May God give you both His help and His love, and so on, and so much hope. What I am behaving in this idiotic way for? I am off my balance with joy, absolutely off my balance. Oh, with all my soul, I'll go and call Natasha and all that. So Chubukov is telling, why do you go round and round? Why do you want to elongate for what you have come for? Just spit it out means what? Just say it what for you have come. And Lomo is expressing that he is willing to take his daughter's hand in marriage, which means he is showing his willingness to marry Natalia, who is the daughter of Chubukov, and Chubukov is jumping out of joy. Okay, he was expecting this marriage to be taking place in near future. So this has come, the moment has come, and he is jumping in joy. He doesn't know what to do. He was feeling out of his balance, and now he runs away to call in for Natalia. Lomo, honored Stepan Stepanovich, do you think I may count on her consent? Chubukov, why, of course, my darling, and as if she won't consent. She is in love. Egad, she is like a lovesick cat, and so on. Shan't be long. Lomo, it's cold. I am trembling all over, just as if I had got an examination before me. The great thing is, I must have my mind made up. If I give myself time to think, to hesitate, to talk a lot, to look for an ideal of a real love, then I'll never get married. It's cold. Natalia Stepanovna is an excellent housekeeper, not bad looking, well educated. What more do I want? But I'm getting a noise in my ears from excitement, and it's impossible for me to marry. In the first place, I'm already 35, a critical age, so to speak. In the second place, I ought to lead a quiet and regular life. So Lomo is expressing his consent, okay, whether he would, whether the Stepanovna will accept her proposal. So he is asking Chubukov, okay, whether his daughter will accept. And Chubukov is telling, yes, well, she would definitely accept, and she is waiting for you. She is also suffering, okay, she also is love sick. So she would definitely accept your proposal. So he is going to call in for Natalia Stepanovna. Meanwhile, Lomo is thinking to himself. So he is drinking water, he is feeling so cold, he was shivering, trembling out of excitement. Okay, he is going to meet the girl. Okay, so he was all excited. So he was trembling, and he was also reasoning out, okay, that his decision was a correct thing to do, and he has done this at the right time, because he is thinking, okay, he is already 35, and it is a very critical age for him to postpone marriage. Okay, later on he cannot be married, it will be too old for him. So he is also reasoning out that Natalia would be a good partner. Okay, she would be an excellent housekeeper. She is well educated, good looking also. So this would be a good thing to do. Okay, and she would also lead a normal and quiet life with him. He was trembling before meeting Natalia as though he was going to write an examination. So that excitement was making him feel shivered. Okay, trembling means shivering. And he is also telling he is already 35, he does not want to waste time, okay, in thinking or in making deliberations whether to accept or not, to look out for better partners. So he did not want to postpone or do any such things, because he feels that it is already late for him to find a match. To hesitate means what? Not willingness to express is called as hesitate. And ideal partner, ideal means somebody who is the best match, is called as ideal. Okay, ideal is a best match, we call as ideal. Okay, children. I suffer from palpitations. I am excitable and always getting awfully upset. At this very moment my lips are trembling and there is a twitch in my right eyebrow. But the very worst of all is the way I sleep. I no sooner get into bed and begin to go off, when suddenly something in my left side gives a pull and I can feel it in my shoulder and head. I jump up like a lunatic, walk about a bit and lie down again. But as soon as I begin to get off to sleep, there is another pull, and this may happen 20 times. Natalia Stepanova comes in. So he is thinking to himself and he is telling, he is having some physical discomfort. He suffers from palpitations. Palpitations means rapid pounding of heart. The heartbeat will go out of control, that is called as palpitation, and it gets, whenever he gets excited, he has palpitations, and he is also awfully upset, means what, he is very terribly upset also. And whenever he is having palpitations, he also suffers from twitches. Twitches is the nerves of the muscle, okay, they pull, that is called as twitches. So he is also suffering from twitches of muscles through his body. And during his sleep, okay, sometime he has to jump out of the bed because he might have some twitches in the body. So he gets off his bed, moves around so that the twitches get normal, and when he gets back to sleep, again there is a pull in his body. So he has to go on and off the sleep nearly for 20 times. He has to do all these things. So he is just thinking about all these things while Natalia is entering to meet him. Natalia, well there, it's you. And Papa said, go, there's a merchant come for his goods. How do you do, Ivan Vasilovich? Lomo, how do you do, honored Natalia Stepanovna? Natalia, you must excuse my apron, my neglect. We are shelling peas for drying. Why haven't you been here for such a long time? Sit down. They seat themselves. Won't you have some lunch? Lomo, no thank you, I have had some already. So Natalia is coming, she is greeting this Lomo. Lomo is also greeting back, and she was wearing an apron and neglect. Neglect is an overdress, okay, before wearing like apron, neglect is also a dress which they wear like a protective dress, okay, and they were shelling peas. They were de-shelling the peas and they were drying it, and that was the reason why she was wearing the apron. And both of them sit, and she is asking whether he would like to have some lunch, and Lomo is saying he has already eaten lunch. Lomo, honored Stepan Stepanovich, do you think? Natalia, then smoke. Here are the batches. The weather is splendid now, but yesterday it was so wet that the workmen didn't do anything all day. How much hay have you stacked? Just think, I felt greedy and had a whole field cut, and now I am not at all pleased about it because I am afraid my hay may rot. I ought to have waited a bit. But what's this? Why are you in evening dress? Well, I never. Are you going to a ball or what? Though I must say you look better. Tell me, why are you got up like that? Lomo. You see, honored Natalia Stepanovna, the fact is I have made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course, you will be surprised and perhaps even angry, but it's awfully cold. Natalia, what's the matter? Well, so Natalia, she is now discussing some random things they sit together and they start discussing. Natalia is telling that we already saw she was shelling the peas, and she is also telling about the hay and the weather. So, the weather is not good, and she was greedy enough. What she did, she cut the entire field and she had collected the hay, and now she was afraid, okay, the hay might rot because of the weather. So, some normal things they speak, and she is also asking this Lomo for what reason he has come, and she is also enquiring about why he was wearing the evening dress. And Lomo is expressing that he has come to ask her for marriage, and he is also expressing that she would be surprised to hear this. Lomo, I shall try to be brief. You must know, honored Natalia Stepanovna, that I have long, since my childhood, in fact, had the privilege of knowing your family. My late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomovs and the Chubukovs have always had the most friendly, and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. And as you know, my land is near neighbor of yours. You will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birch woods. So, Lomo is telling, he is telling, okay, I will try to be brief. And he is also expressing how close they were from their childhood. Okay, they were neighbors already, and how close their parents were and his aunt were, and he has also inherited the property from his aunt. And he is telling, my aunt and your father, the Chubukovs and the Lomovs, were very friendly. So, he was telling all these story to Natalia, and wherein he says his oxen meadows was near the girls' birch wood. Birch wood means, birch is a type of a tree. Birch wood is a forest of a birch tree is called as a birch wood. Natalia, excuse my interrupting you. You say my oxen meadows, but are they yours? Lomo, yes, mine. Natalia, what are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours. Lomo, no, mine, honored Natalia Stepanovna. And this girl has now got a point. She is telling oxen meadows, and Lomo, do you call the oxen meadows as yours? And this is Lomo was telling, yeah, the oxen meadows are ours. But Natalia is not willing to agree that. She is telling, no, the oxen meadows are ours and not yours. Natalia, well, I never knew that before. How do you make out that? Lomo, how? I am speaking of those oxen meadows which are wedged in between your birch wood and the burnt marsh. Natalia, yes, yes, they are ours. Lomo, no, you are mistaken, honored Natalia Stepanovna, they are mine. Natalia, just think, Ivan Vasilovich, how long have they been yours? Lomo, how long? As long as I can remember. Natalia, really, you won't get me to believe that. Lomo, but you can see from the documents, honored Natalia Stepanovna, oxen meadows, it's true, were once the subject of dispute, but now everybody knows that they are mine. There is nothing to argue about. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they were to make bricks for her. The peasants belonging to your father's grandfather had the free use of the meadows for 40 years and had got into the habit of regarding them as their own when it happened that. So you can see there is an argument between Natalia Stepnovna and Ivan Vassilevich regarding the oxen meadows, okay, to whom it belonged to. Both were fighting that it were their lands, okay. And Lomo was telling, no, it is ours. I also have documents for it, you can see, and after that you can believe. And he is also telling the story of how this oxen meadows came to be regarded as Natalia's. Why? Because the auntie, I already told you, Lomo has inherited this property from his aunt. So what happened? Aunt's grandmother, what she did, she gave the meadows for the father's grandfather, okay, Natalia's father's grandfather and the auntie's grandmother. This lady, what she does, she gives the oxen meadows to them, to their peasants, for them to use, for free use, okay, and it had been used by them for 40 years, and as a habit, okay, they have accustomed themselves that it is their land, okay. And he is also telling that everybody knows that the land was in a subject of dispute. Subject of dispute means what? There was some argument regarding the ownership of this land, but now it is clear that everybody is also clear that the land belongs to me. So this is what Lomo says to Natalia. So we will continue the remaining part of the lesson in the next session, children, and before closing, please do subscribe our YouTube channel for more updates.